there and welcome. I'm Coach Tonya, joined by my colleague and good friend, Coach Chris.
Fist bump.
Fist pump. Yeah, fist pumping, because in this video we're talking about coronavirus.
Yes, we are.
Everywhere and
should be
causing a lot of hype. So we just sort of want to kind of bring the panic level down a bit.
Yes.
Before we get into that, there's something we want to tell you about. It's a fantastic product that we have. You want to check that pink comment below. It's 101 superfoods to stop inflammation and joint pain.
Yeah.
Wonderful. If you are really serious about your health and your wellness and longevity and like optimizing your nutrition, you want to get this product. So click that pink comment below. It's going to take you to a link, tell you how to get it, and I mean it's amazing.
Well, it's simple foods that are everyday foods that aren't always on people's radar, that can really help boost their immune function and just live a healthier life. So it's important. It's a great resource. Check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So coronavirus, and we're not talking about the beer. So I've just been informed, I didn't even know this, it shows you like what I know, that like there's a whole thing now with the Corona beer now, and like Corona's not selling, and like it's poor.
That's what we call like
couldn't they come up with a different?
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
but
pandemonium.
I did hear about a funny. Farnham, our camera guy, was telling me about a funny commercial
for it. He knows
for
everything.
Yeah, it's
He's
like
in the know.
The Corona beer's here, and then all the other beers are on the other side of the fridge, because it's like no one wants to be near that beer. So I know. We make light of stuff that we don't, sometimes are fearful of or don't know a lot about. But it is because people get into a frenzy and really kind of go, maybe where their meter should be more like here. It just completely goes off the charts, and they start to get overboard with it.
We did a video a little earlier today, and I said, consider the source of the information.
Yes.
Because I mean, the job of the media is to make what's happening in the world, to give us information, make everybody aware.
Right.
But in doing that, a lot of times it creates massive panic. And nobody is really thinking logically or is pausing long enough to make logical, sensible decisions in a state of panic, kind of like in a state of fear. Like, when's the last time you made a good choice out of a state of fear?
Right.
It doesn't usually work out.
Yeah, correct.
Now, I'm not suggesting this should be taken lightly or that you should laugh at it, because there's a very real threat with what this virus can do if you fall into certain categories that put you at a higher risk.
Yes.
But for those of us in the population that are healthy, we take very good care of our bodies, we have a very good diet, we get lots of exercise, we get really good sleep, we're probably okay. Like, barring any extreme risks we take, we're probably going to be just fine.
Yes, and as I was saying actually quite recently in a Facebook Live, that I did see a small news piece.
Serious
Did
stuff going on. Do we need sanitizer?
Did you wash that off first?
Okay, you're good. You're not going to get coronavirus.
All right, good. I hope not. Where was I? I saw a very short news piece from a doctor that was talking about the coronavirus in a very sensible manner, and he was saying, as much as we don't know about new viruses like this, there are some things that we do know. And he said, we know it's not impacting pregnant women. It's not really affecting young people, young children. And generally anybody under the age of 50 or 60 who's in relatively good health.
Yeah.
So really, I think it comes down to strong immune function. If you are healthy, if you're active, if you have a good diet, if you're doing all the right things and live a relatively healthy life, you are at far less risk than someone else.
Right, and we talked again about this earlier, that people that would tend to fall into a higher risk category are anybody with autoimmune deficiencies, disorders, compromised immunity, elderly people that are fighting infections, or people that are more prone to infection. But again, like I said, usually those people already that have those sort of health issues live with a state of caution that a lot of us don't. They're very careful and aware of their current health. They're aware of what sorts of things they need to be aware of and be cautious of, and where they have to take extra precautions. So even with the threat of this virus putting them at higher risk, those people are typically living a lifestyle where they're doing the things they need to be doing anyways day to day. However, again, not to make light of it, if you do have an autoimmune deficiency or disorder, if you're immunocompromised, if you're elderly, you do want to take extra precautions. And this maybe isn't a good time to start visiting people at the hospital or to book a trip overseas, you know.
Yeah.
You just have to be logical and real life about it. And there's things that we can be doing day to day that we should be doing anyways to just keep our health in check.
Yeah, and you had made a good point earlier talking about this. Consult with a local physician.
Yes.
Make a phone call if you want to really know a little bit more from a solid, credible source. Don't just rely on Google or rely on the news piece you saw before you went to work to have, you know, if you want to check off the boxes of like what I want to know about this issue right now, what I should be doing. If you have legitimate concerns, go to the proper outlets to get your answers.
Yeah, don't rush to emergency urgent cares and start flooding those facilities. Because if you are sick, you don't want to be dragging this virus anywhere that it doesn't need to be, but you also don't want to create all of that mass and panic if it's not necessary. Pick up the phone and make a call, because they will have a very specific set of questions they'll ask you, and they will either tell you to come in or not to come in.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Exactly. No, stay at home.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're coming down with something, I mean, this is the time of year where a lot of people are feeling that.
And allergies, like the pollen right now in the air is making me all throaty and
yeah. I mean, take care of yourself, and you know the basics will never not be the basics. Does that make sense? Getting good quality sleep, consuming a good amount of water. Or your body's 70 to 80% water. So what do you think you need a lot of every day in order to live a healthier life? A lot of H2O. How about getting outside and just taking in some sun and taking in fresh air? Huge. Get out of the buildings that you're in. Who knows what kind of ventilation systems you're dealing with? Get outside, get some fresh air. Go for a walk. I already mentioned the sleep. Have nutritious meals. Try to stay away from your processed foods. Eat more fresh foods. Eat more vegetables and fruits and things that are loaded with immune boosting and anti-inflammatory ingredients. And then beyond that, I would just say, if you're an exerciser, stay active.
Yeah.
I mean, but to a point, like you gotta be smart. Some people push the boundaries too much when they're, they feel like they might be coming down with something. That's not the time to go and have a really hard, intense workout.
Yeah.
That's the time because your immune system's working on something right now. And that's the time to go and have some soup and get some sleep. So make smart decisions. And then Tonya brought in some
everyday
stuff
stuff.
here. Yeah.
Wash your hands. We should be doing that anyways. Just wash your hands. And I made a joke, don't pick your nose. And if you do pick your nose, wash your hands after you do that.
That's right. Just make sure you do it where no one can see.
That's right.
And if you do it in your car, you have to have really good tinted windows, because I see all you car pickers or car nose pickers. Is that what you'd say? I wash my hands so much they get dry, but I then have some moisturizer around, so you can do that. But you should be washing your hands in transition from. I have animals, I have kids. I'm making a lunch, I'm making breakfast.
We're out in the gym working out, grabbing the weights and all that.
I'm scooping litter boxes, I'm picking up dog poops. I'm doing all that stuff. Wash your hands in between everything. Then you got this bad boy here.
These are just for wiping down stuff. I know, like when my kids were little, I always had like little travel packs, because I'd wipe because little kids put everything in their mouth.
Yes.
So when you put them in the shopping cart, I would just give the handle of the cart a wipe. But they're just good to have around if you're out and about for a day and maybe have to eat out or you're doing stuff. It's they're handy. Wiping surfaces, keep them clean.
Yeah, agreed. And then if you don't have immediate access to soap and water, which is kind of always number one, soap and water, but a good backup would just be some type of hand sanitizer, whether you carry a little container around with you or you have one, wherever you work or function. At least having that, you have something that can kind of immediately kill some germ activity that might be on your hands, because our hands and our cell phones.
That's you can use this on your cell phone.
I know, yeah. You use those Clorox wipes on your cell phone. And so at the beginning of the video, you saw us do a fist bump, and we did that because that's kind of, I know it's been a popular way of giving somebody some love, but maybe go to fist bumps over handshakes or high fives for a little while. I know it sounds crazy, but especially certain like athletes and stuff, they're saying, because athletes are, there's a lot of touchy-feely stuff going on, and sweat.
Locker rooms.
Locker room stuff. So the less contact, I guess, you can have, probably the better off you are, because you just don't know at this time. But just be smart and don't be over anxious. Don't be overly concerned or worried. Just be aware, be educated. And don't live in the news. I wouldn't live and breathe with every single thing you see reported, because that could be different by tomorrow.
Yeah, and just watch like when the news is reporting, where are they reporting it from. And I was actually doing some, because somebody DM'd me yesterday on one of our pages about coronavirus or something, and the CDC, this was a couple days ago, so it may have changed, because with this virus creating as much, like being as public as, or as big in the news as it is, I'm sure like the CDC gets on things very quickly. Yeah. But it was either earlier this week or the end of last week, someone from the CDC had mentioned in a statement or an article that at that time, their ability to test specifically for coronavirus wasn't 100%. So the current tests they had available to test, it was, the feedback was a lot of false positives. So until that gets tuned in, again, it's still like, just because you're hearing these people are there, what I've heard anyways on the news was possible cases in, because those cases have not yet been determined as, yes, it is definitely coronavirus, or no, it's definitely not. We're unsure. So in that regard, I don't think they're trying to create panic as much as, again, just an awareness. And if you're traveling, give yourself lots of time, because a lot of your kiosk check-ins aren't going to be operational. You're going to have to manually check in and talk to an agent. They might have some extra questions. So if you're traveling internationally, you want to give yourself a lot of time, because there is going to be delays. Now, don't interpret the delays as something's terribly wrong. Interpret the delays as taking the necessary precautions to ensure safe travel for everybody.
Yeah, agreed. If you have the ability to maybe push out a trip, do it. I would do it if it's a vacation, I'd consider it. If it's business related, you might not be able to, but the less time you spend in confined areas with people from all over the place is probably better. Plane fuselages are not known as the haven of health. You got people coughing and sneezing, and who knows, hygiene levels.
You've been in an airplane washroom.
I know, it's not really, it's
like
not.
Those like when I lived in New Zealand, those 14, 15-hour flights. I mean, trying to avoid not using the airplane bathroom.
I just picture myself on on a plane with like one of those old scuba masks. Remember those old school with the little thing on the front that would open,
deep sea dive.
The deep sea diver. Like if I could wear one of those on a plane, I would do that right now. But maybe consider postponing travel if possible until maybe more things get figured out here in the coming days and weeks. Yeah. Because, very smart people are working very hard around the clock to figure this out. Yeah, and so that's good. I mean, know that there are people all over the world that are working day and night without much sleep, trying to get some answers. And those answers will come, and we will get through this. That's another thing. We're going to get through it. We're going to overcome it. It's just a matter of time. And live your healthiest life, and just take responsibility for your own health right now, and consider other people at the same time. That's just live smart. So hey, if you haven't already, they should go down below and check out.
Want to check that pinned comment for that 101 superfoods. That's something you can be doing right now and every day very easily, because these are all very common foods that are at your local markets.
That's right.
That you can just start incorporating in your diet to optimize your nutrition, which optimizes your overall health.
That's right. Boost your immune function with what you're eating. That helps inflammation, helps to lessen inflammation inside the body. A lot of people are chronically inflamed with a myriad of reasons. And then people are living in pain. And so just by correcting one simple thing like your diet with really good foods can start to reverse that for you or change that. So check that out below. I thank you for your knowledge and informed just awareness of what's going on, because it's just good to be thinking, be thinking about what the world that you live in and how to function in it during times like this. But don't panic.
No, tune in, think logically, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Don't pick your nose. Get lots of sleep.
And if you sneeze,
there you go.
Use a little bit of that afterwards.
That isn't really a germ barrier.
Yeah, not so much.
It's a catcher.
Yeah,
a catcher.
This actually is the best way, is to sneeze into the elbow part of your arm. So I don't know take that for what it is.
Cool.
Thank you, Tonya.
Well, thank you, Coach Chris.
Always great sitting with you.
Yeah, always a lot of fun. And thank you for watching. If you haven't done so already, make sure you click on that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't ever miss any of our great content. We will talk to you soon.